In this video, we're going to discuss the affected behavior. But before we do, kind of a little embarrassing, but I kind of need to use the bathroom. So I'm just going to step behind this rock if you don't mind and do some business, and then we'll get started. So let me just go ahead and squat down here. We'll get started in a minute. Oh boy. I seem to have squatted in some poisonous mushrooms. I'm feeling a little woozy. Just make my way back to the camp. Oh boy, I'm sick. Okay, seem to have recovered. So that's the affected behavior. Let me show you how that works and how you might use it in different ways. Now, this is just one silly way that I decided to use it, but it's actually got a lot of flexibility. Now, before we get into the affected behavior, I do want to call out one really important note that came up when I was setting this up, and that is, I don't know if you noticed, but it didn't happen right away. It happened a few seconds after I'd sat down, and that's because of this. There's been an addition to the player in zone behavior, and that is this delay slider here, this delay timer, which is in seconds. So 5 seconds after I entered the zone, that's when it kicked off the affected behavior, which has to be activated in some way. It could be with a switch or it could be with a zone, doesn't matter, but it does have to be activated. Once it's activated, then you have some options. So in my case, I chose poisoning. So I sat down on the mushrooms and that poisoned me, but I could also do a drunk effect, which is very similar to poisoning in that you would get the same sort of wobbly screen shake motion, but it's to a lesser extent. It's a lot less wobbly than the poisoned effect. Then you also have the shudder, which I think of as shiver. So if you imagine, you're cold, you're shivering and you're shaking like that, kind of that little violent shake to it. That's what that would be. So it's a much different screen shake than the other two. So that's one option as well. Then you have the effect time. So that's just how long is that screen shake going to last. You probably don't want to make it too long. I did 10 seconds. It's up to you what you want to do with that. You have the user global affected. Now this is optional. You don't have to affect user global. I chose not to. I just chose to affect my health instead, which is a global behavior, but it's activated in a different way. So there's a tick box for that instead, and I'll show you that in a second. But you could affect a global user global, like a custom one. So you could choose to impact my mojo, for example, and do that. Or you could do both. I think you can affect both the health and my mojo. It doesn't matter. Then you have the global effect. So you're either adding or deducting. In my case, I'm deducting from health. So here I've got the tick box effect health ticked, and it gave me 20 damage from the poisoning of the mushroom over time, over the 10-second effect. Or you could affect the user global and not tick that box, and then it would only affect the user global. You could do both. Then you have the activate logic tick box. So I thought about this. I didn't set this up because we haven't covered LUT changer, but I thought, ooh, you know what we could do with this? You get poisoned. Not only does it affect you in that way, you're getting wobbly, you're getting damage, but you could also change the LUT to a maybe a green LUT or something like that, or maybe it's a hallucinogen mushroom. So you can imagine how trippy the LUT could be for that. Far different color spectrum, and just kind of really play it up that way. Or another option I thought of, and again, I just didn't have the ability to do it, was if I had a snake, if I had like an animated snake, I could put it behind the rock, and then I could activate the sniper behavior to give me a little tick of damage, and then turn around, there's a snake. I just sat on a snake, and then that's how I got poisoned. So a lot of different versatility with this one, a lot of different options. You really just have to let your imagination run wild, and that's what I really love about this behavior. And then, of course, lastly, you have the sound slot, which is just whatever sound is playing. But that's it. That's the affected behavior, really versatile behavior. If you enjoyed the video or if you learned anything new, please be sure to click the like button down below. It helps me out a lot. If you're new here or if you just haven't subscribed yet, we'd love to have you stick around. And lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever a new video is posted, I don't really keep a normal schedule. It's just whenever I have something available, I post it. So be sure to click the bell icon and that'll notify you when a new video is available. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I always appreciate that, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, don't forget there's a written guide for every behavior, including ones I haven't yet covered on this channel. And if you want to learn some more, why don't you check out this video next.